and welcome to a Panda's Eyeshadows update. I don't remember which one this is. I'll probably put it up on the screen somewhere, maybe in the title card. We are making some changes this month. I've been at this for quite a while. I want to say this is update 8 or 9. So I've been doing this project for quite a few months at this point, and I've kept the same rules throughout. I randomly select eyeshadows from my collection, the exact same way that everyone else does this project does, or very close to the same way that everyone else does this project does. And my goal is to hit either 30 uses, to hit pan, or to double the size of the pan. Whichever one of those things happens first, great, I'll roll it out. What I've found the last couple of months is that I'm not feeling quite as inspired to do as complex of eye looks. So I find myself reaching for fewer shadows, doing some more neutral looks. It's just not reasonable for me anymore to hit 30 uses on many of the shades in my collection within a reasonable time frame. I usually like to roll things out after about 3 months, and 30 uses on a lime green glitter in 3 months might be a little too much for an office environment. Starting with this update, I'm going to be rolling things out after 10 uses instead of 30. Again, if I've doubled the size of an existing pan or hit a new pan before 10 uses, great. I can still roll that out without hitting 10, but I think that 10 is going to be the maximum before I can roll something out from now on. So with that out of the way, we can see what progress I've made this month. Now, under my old rule, I did actually hit goal on one shade. It is this dark taupe. This is originally from my NYX Avant Pop palette, and I used this 31 times. That is not the hand that I wanted to be swatching with in this video. I already messed that one up in the previous video, so let's stick to this other hand instead. This is a really pretty color. I find that it actually works really well as a contour on me as well. I'm not wearing it today, though I often will with a little bit cooler toned looks. This looks kind of all over the place because I did a get ready with me using some products from another project, and I will link that in one of these spots. I really like this shade. I've used it a lot. I use it on my cheekbones. I'll use it in my crease. I love lining my lower lashes with it. It's a really nice color, and I love how soft and blendable it is. That's huge, huge bonus for me. And under the original rules, that is the only shade that I would be able to roll out this month. However, under these new revamped rules, there are 2 other shades that I am actually allowed to roll out, and a third that I'm going to because it's my video. So one of those shades I'm wearing today, though I have since layered some more eyeshadow over it. This is the Ash shade from the NYX Ultimate Edit in Ash. The shade is not actually called Ash, that's just what I call it. And because it is, it's an ash shade, and it's very pretty. I love it a lot. I love using this as a one shadow look. It just didn't go all that well with the next shade we're going to talk about, but I have hit 10 uses. I used this 13 times over the past 2 months, and I kind of thought that I might hit pan in time for this video. I feel like I'm close. I feel like I'm very close, but no dice, at least not yet. But 13 uses is great, and I'm definitely closer to hitting pan on this, and I'm closer to getting to my 100 use mark for my project 100 uses because of this project, and I'm really happy with that. I just want to see progress. That's really all I hope for. Next up, another shade that I will be rolling out is this gold. This is from the Maybelline City Mini palette in Chill Brunch Neutrals. And let's find a clean finger and give that a swatch. It is very pretty. It's just, I think that these two shades really ended up competing with one another for my attention because they aren't quite different enough that they really work nicely together. But whenever I wanted something really neutral, I was reaching for one of these. So I think it'll be good to roll some new things in. Hopefully things that are a little bit less similar than those two colors, and be able to spread my usage out a little bit more. They are both really, really pretty though. These are some of my favorite shades in my collection. I'm really glad that I drew these. I just wish they hadn't drawn them at the exact same time. Next up, we have one that I'm at 9 uses on. This is from ColourPop. It is a silver single. This is the shade On a Whimsy. And it is stunning. Such a pretty color and so well performing too. I mean, I did not build that swatch up. I did not wet my finger. It's bam silver. And I really like this. I had a lot of fun playing around with this. I didn't realize just how wearable silver could be. I used it on my inner corner. I used it in my crease, which I thought was really fun. I did a get ready with me using that, and I thought it turned out really well. It's just such a pretty shade, and I think it played really well with these other shades that I drew. Just, you know, it's different enough that it was a little pop of something, but it's not that lime green metallic glitter that we were talking about earlier, where I didn't feel like I could incorporate it into any kind of work appropriate look. I needed to use just a little bit of this, but I could use a little bit of this, and I really liked the effect it gave. And I am rolling this out because I'm at 9 uses. I will use it another time in the next month. I just want the opportunity to roll some new things in, and I already have 2 shades sticking around. I just want to spread my usage out among my different products. I don't need more of an excuse than that. So, shade number 5 will be staying in for another month. This is currently at 8 uses, and this is a Wet n Wild highlighter in bronze. I checked the packaging, and this is the shade Gilded Hibiscus. It's one of their Mega Glow highlighting powders. Clearly not a highlighter on me, but a very pretty eyeshadow. And to get a swatch of that, again, this was competing with this shade. They aren't quite different enough that I would use them to give contrast to a look. So they were just competing with each other, which is why I think that this only got to 8 uses in the past month. Even though my last month was a longer period than I usually keep in between these updates. There were 40 days in between rather than the usual, 28 to 31 depending on the length of the month. So yeah, this didn't get as much use as it should have because these 3 just were constantly competing with each other. But 2 of them are rolling out, so hopefully it'll be just a total breeze to get 2 uses on the bronze and hopefully more. I mean, really 2 uses by itself shouldn't be that hard. We'll see though. And I am at 7 uses on the last shade that I am keeping in. This is for my Wet n Wild 32 pan palette, and it is an orange. This is a very reddish orange. I think you will be able to see that in comparison with the bronze in the swatch. Yeah, much more reddish than the bronze shade. This one was actually so much fun to play with. I wasn't sure how much I was going to like it, but it's just such a fun shade for summer. It's a nice little pop. I have some lipsticks that go really well with it. It's a really fun color, and part of the reason I like this project so much is that it gets me to use shades like this that I might think are pretty in the pan, but just don't know what to do with really. it kind of forces me to give them a couple tries, and more often than not, I find some way that I really, really enjoy wearing them. And that was definitely the case with this one. Now we get to draw my new shades. My notes say that I have 111 pans of eyeshadow. I feel like that's not quite right, but it's close enough for my purposes today. And I'm going to be drawing 4 shades to get to 10 uses. So let's start. I've got the numbers 1 through 11 pulled up on my random number generator. You can't see that, but they are there, promise. And the first number is 5, which will be from my NYX Ultimate Utopia palette. And that is this light shimmery peach. I actually think this has been in the project before, but it's been long enough that I don't have a problem using it again. Where do I want to put this? So there's a swatch of that. It's just a really soft, pretty color. Next up, 7. I'm not drawing 2 shades from this NYX palette that I've used before in this project, so we're drawing another one. 15. Okay, this is going 1 to 111, but it seems to really like my NYX palette today. And shade 15 would be this dark gray. This is not a shade that I've used super often, so I'm interested to play around with it, see what I can do with it. It's not that different from the taupe that I had in last month, so hopefully I will enjoy this just as much. If I draw another one from this NYX palette, we're re-rolling. Just putting that out there beforehand. 13. Again, really? 46. Okay, that's from a different palette. Okay, so that will be the first shade in my Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette, which is looking pretty beat up these days. And with the way I count, that would be this purple, which I think has also been in this project, but you know what? We'll use it. I like this shade. It's very soft, very easy. This is like the simplest crease color ever. And I think I need 1 more shade. So 85. And 85 is going to be the 7th pan in my thing of singles. I'm gonna go out of this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very orange. Interesting. Okay. That's doable. And I, in my haste to get rid of my old swatches, got rid of the 2 that I had from last month. So let's add those in so we can get a good view of the color story. Or at least, you know, the colors. I don't know if there's much of a story here at all. The color stream of consciousness. And that's what we've got. It is a very light month. There's not a lot of depth here, with the exception of the gray, which I think we have shown can be sheared out pretty well. This will be interesting. I'm excited to give these a go, and I don't feel as bad saying interesting when I'm aiming for 10 uses rather than 30. I think this should be very doable, and I think it will be a lot of fun and not feel like a chore, which the old version never quite did, but I could kind of tell it was headed that direction, so decided to nip that one in the bud. I hope that I'll see you in the next video, And I, as well as my very eyeshadow stained fingers, hope you are having a great day. See ya!